I have 6 modular steel beam and steel stands static meshes for you to use in UE5 to create your environments with. And these meshes are right here. All 6 meshes have textures and have materials, as well as material instances already applied. Their default color is this off-white. And of course, through the material instance, you'll be able to change 2 key features. 1 is the color of the steel beams or steel stands, and 2, the color of the dust and the dirt that's within the cavities, that's within the ambient occlusion areas. So here are the materials. There's 1 master material and 4 different material instances. And they are already applied to each of these static meshes. So these 2 stands both use their own material instance. These 2 static meshes use a material instance because these 2 share the same texture, as well as these 2 beams also share the same texture and the same material instance. So this is why you get 4 material instances. So let me go ahead and open up one of them. Let's do this first steel beam stand. That's the quad, the 4 support beam stand. So when I zoom in on it, I want to show you a few features of the material. And it uses a mask in order to control the color of the steel beam itself. And then you're able to change color for the dust and the dirt. So if I enable the base color adjustment and then also the cavity dirt color. And by doing this, you can change the color of the steel beams without affecting the dust color, the dirt color, which is very important, and it's done through a mask. And if you need to make adjustments for the dust itself, again, enable cavity dirt color and change it to anything you want. There is a cavity dirt mask channel selection. Ignore this. This simply uses the mask and it isolates to a specific channel that's been applied for this material instance. So you don't need to change any of this. It's already been set for you. So ignore the cavity dirt mask channel selection. And then of course you can change your roughness minimum and maximum, as well as normal map intensity. But primarily you'll be using the base color adjustment, the cavity dirt color adjustment, and the roughness minimum and the maximum in order to change the roughness of these steel beams, as well as the color and the dirt color. Each static mesh has nanites already enabled. If you need to disable nanites for any of these static meshes, and you need these without nanites, just simply right click on each static mesh inside the content browser and disable nanite support. All the textures have been imported and they've already been set up for you inside the material, inside this master material. So you don't need to do anything other than simply use these static meshes, these modular steel beams and supports as they are, and just control each of the material instances that have been applied to all the static meshes to change the color and the dust color. There's also a map that you can open up, which is what you see here. Just simply all the static meshes have been dragged into this map to showcase it. All the static meshes do snap together, so if you wanted to expand this a little further, you can just simply duplicate and work on a 10 grid unit system in order to snap these meshes together. And you can just create different designs and expand on these meshes to create a larger, bigger environment. And also all these meshes do have blocking volumes or collisions. So when you walk up to them, they will block the player. So they've already been enabled and created for you. So these meshes are ready to use. With the download, you'll also get the Maya file. So you can open this up to take a look at how it was modeled, maybe modified, maybe do something else with them, build on top of them, expand on them, as well as modify any UVs if you need it. Again, these 2 beams have been combined together into the same texture, so they will use the same texture, as well as these 2. And these stands have their own individual UV space. You will also have the FBX files, so if you don't have Maya, but you have some other 3D modeling application, you can import any of these into your modeling app by going to File, Import, or something similar, whichever way you need to import into your specific 3D app, and open any of these up. And last, to use the UE5 assets, make sure you have 5.3 or later, and you simply navigate into Epic Games Launcher, find the project you want to use these in, right-click, go to Show in Folder. This will take you into that project directory, and then you need to navigate into Content folder, and then make sure you have the WoLD Patreon folder. And inside this folder, this is where you place the folder, the Steel Beams United Terminal. And these steel beams and supports were inspired by United Terminal and the steel beams that are in the United Terminal airport. Very cool looking architecture, very cool looking design, and they were inspired by it. So you would just simply take the downloaded directory, go inside this folder, go inside the content folder, and either take the WoLD Patreon folder if you don't have this folder already inside your project. And if you do, just simply take the Steel Beams United Terminal folder and copy and paste into your project directory, into the content, into WoLD Patreon folder. So it just simply needs to match one-to-one from this downloaded directory into your project content directory. So you can get access to these 6 modular steel beam supports and steel beam stands to use right now by supporting WoLD Patreon and begin creating your environments using these. And thank you for your support.